Hi, I'm Chris, and in this video I'm going to show you how to actually create a flow structure in SMOC. You can branch in different kinds of ways, and I'll go through the different versions of those branchings. So first of all, you have a typical model where you can go to a button element. It's not necessarily the best model because it doesn't track in survey questions, which will be important for statistics going forward. But it can be a very simple way just to create a button to go to the next step, to create a pause in the conversation. So we write here before pause, and then we can go into the next steps element here. That's how you set the elements. Normally, elements go automatically to the next element, but if you press here and say with button, you can say press me, for instance, confirm. And then based on that, you get a press me, and then you can create a new element after that called after button, like that. And we are ready to test it. So let me show you how that will look. We go in draft mode in the console, and here you see how you have good afternoon, press me, and then you have after button. So that's a typical way to create a structure around SMOC. Then the second model is that you can create what we call a survey question. So that's when you create a question here. And a survey question is created by creating a new survey question, which we'll do here. So that's question, and then we enter two answers, answer 1 and answer 2, like that. And then you go to next steps and you create surveys. One survey can essentially have 5 elements, up to 5 elements that you can use. So the survey question is added here. And once it's ready and updated, here we go. And once it's updated, it will pause when you show this, and it will automatically go to the next step here. So we'll add a text here, after survey. And then you see that you have a survey question, which is established here, and it will pause, and then it will automatically go to this level, disregarding which element you have. So let's call it after survey 1, and we go into test flow, and then we can have a look at how this looks. So we open it in a new tab, and here you go. So we have the first elements that we talked about, before pause, press me, then you come to after button, and then you have the question, and we answer 1 or 2, you will get after survey 1. Okay, now we have a second option. And that is to branch based on survey questions. This is how we create decision trees in SMOC. Again, you always go to next steps when you want to set up one of these structures. So you press next steps, and then here you see you have one path. That's when you go to the next element. Or you can have different paths. And when you do that, you get this message warning. Yes, you have a new logic here, so that's definitely possible. You saw that the text element that was here is removed. Well, don't worry, it's still in the system, so you can find it. What you can do is you can go to answer, click answer 1, which is the first answer, and then you can take existing element, then you can take a text element, and then you'll find here after survey, this element. This is actually the element you had there before. And as you see, if you answer 1, you will then go into the element that we just talked about. Then you can also create a new element by doing this. So you can create a new element, and then let's do that as a text element as well. And you can say after survey 2, and then that is stored as well. And let's see how this will look like if you have this structure. So now we open it in a new tab. Remember the beginning, still there. So before pause, press me, great. You come to after button, then you come to the survey, but now we're just going to press answer 2. And now it should say after answer survey 2. Exactly. And you see here, now it's changing based on which element you started on. There's one more thing that I want to show you when it comes to flows and structures, and that is that you can link to elements. So after this, you can say next steps, and then you can create a new element when you press plus, so you can create it when you go automatically, or you can go to an existing element. And then let's just go back to the survey question one more time. Survey question 3, which we created. So then it will go back to this button. You saw that I pressed this link and I jumped over here. So let's just test that. If we go to after survey 2, we will then see this again one more time. So let's test it out and see what happens. So you press here, open a new tab, and then you have good afternoon before pause, and then after the pause, and you get the answer, and then you take answer 2. See what happens now. After survey 2, and then it asks the question again. You see that? Now if you press answer 1, it will just say after survey 1, but as you remember, there was no link to this element this time, 2 times. Then there's one last thing I want to show you, and that is that you can press this survey, and then there's a button called this question can only be answered once. What that means is that if you press answer 2 and you go back to this survey question in a loop, like we just talked about, the answer will be removed. You have to look at this in real-time mode, but then, so I can't show you right now in the demo, but if you answer it now and you come into this loop and we go to answer 2 and go back again, this element will be removed. And all in all, this is how we typically branch elements through buttons or actions and survey questions. And you can create immense personalized trees by doing exactly like this. All right, that's all for today, but we'll come back to more in the next video. Thank you very much.